In this video, we'll be discussing about graphical presentation of data in Python. Before proceeding further, we'll be first importing the required libraries to plot the graphs. The first library is Numpy. The Numpy library is used in graphical presentation as sometimes our graphs are 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional, and for that dimensions we need array, and arrays are there in Numpy, so we'll be importing Numpy library. The next library is Matplotlib. The Matplotlib library is used for data visualization. Since we need to plot the graph, so we'll be importing matplotlib.pyplot as plt. From Matplotlib, we'll be importing colors. This is to beautify our graphs. Next is from matplotlib.ticker, we'll be importing percent formatter. It is to show the percent formats on our bar graph. Now, the first graph we are having is line graph. A line plot can be defined as a graph that displays data as points or check marks above a number line. It means your points or your data points are presented on a number line showing the frequency of each value. So the steps we used to draw this graph is, first we define the x-axis and we define the y-axis values as list. It means our values comes in list. Next, using dot plot, we plot the graph. If we want, we can name the x-axis. It means we can give them labels, and y-axis we can also give labels to y-axis also. We can also give title to our graph, and using dot show we can view our graph. So first, with an example, we'll see a single axis graph. Now the syntax is fig comma points plt dot subplots. So we are making a subplot here, and points dot plot is this is a list of the values of x-axis, and this is the list of value in y-axis. So our first point is 1 of x-axis and 1 of y-axis. Next is 4 and 11. So this point depicts the 4 and 11. Next is 9 and 2. This point depicts 9, 2, and the last point is 13 and 16. This is the 13, 16 point. This is a 2D line. Moving further, now we are creating a figure containing 2 axes. So this is the first example. So we have a x point where we are giving an array of 1, 3, 6, 7. These are the elements in the array. These are x-axis points. Now we have y-axis points in an array 1, 6, 3, 9. Now we'll plot this using plt.plot the x-axis array, the y-axis array, and we have to beautify, we have a line style which is dashed, we have a line width which is the width of this line, and the color green. We are using plt.show to view our graph. So this is our graph. Now we can change this. We have so many line styles, we can use dotted here. Moving further to next example. Now in this example we have marks in the subjects of students. So on x-axis, the points, the array is of the subject name, and on y-axis we have array of the marks 50, 60, 40 and 90. Now we will plot the x and y both axes. Now in this example we have labeled, we have given the heading of the x-axis and y-axis. So what we have done is we have given plt.x label. It means the heading of the x-axis is subjects. So this is our x-axis. The subjects is math, science, social and English, and this size is of the heading, this subject. We can change the size also. Let me give it 25. Okay, also we can give color to this heading. Let me give this color red. Okay, and this plt.title is the title of the graph, and the title we have given is graph of marks. The size of the heading is 18 and the color is blue. Okay, now plt.show is to view our graph. Let me check. So the x label earlier was in black color and of size 20. I have changed 25, and the color was black. I have changed to red. Now and the y label was marks. It is as same in the similar it was earlier. Moving further, 2 more lines on the same graph. So this is example 1. X is equals to np dot line space, in parentheses we will write 1, 10, 500. This line space is number spaces evenly with respect to the intervals. Next we have fig comma x. This fig is used for figure, x is used for axis is equals to plt.subplots. Plt.subplots is a function that returns a tuple containing a figure and axis objects. So when we use fig comma x is equals to plt.subplots, we unpack the tuple into the variable fig and axis. Since we are plotting three lines in the same graph, so these are a syntaxes. First is x comma plot, ax comma plot, in parentheses we will write x, this comma x, x is the linear line, and the label which we will be giving is linear, label is equals to linear. For second line we have ax dot plot, in parentheses we will be giving x comma x to the power 2, and the label we will be giving is quadratic. And for third line it is ax dot plot, in parentheses x comma x to the power 3, and the label will be cubic. Now we're labeling the x and y axis also. Ax dot set underscore x label is the syntax to give the label to the x axis. So we are giving x data as the label for x axis. Similarly for y axis we are giving y axis data. Also we'll be giving the heading to the graph, and the heading will be given is by the syntax ax comma ax dot set underscore title, and the heading is multiple plots. This fig comma ax is equal to plt dot subplots. Plt dot subplots is a function that returns a tuple containing a figure and axis objects. So when we use fig comma axis plt dot subplots, we unpack the tuple into the variable fig and ax. Now fig is used for figure and ax is used for axis. So whatever is there on our axis we'll plot it. X dot plot x comma x label is linear. It means this is a linear line which here we are presented, and we are labeling it as linear. Similarly we'll plotting x dot plot. Now here x and x to the power 2. This is a quadratic line, so we are labeling it as quadratic. Next is x dot plot x comma x to the power 3, and we are labeling it as cubic line. Now setting the labels of x and y axis. So x dot set underscore x label is the syntax where we are giving the heading to the axis, which is x axis data. Similarly giving the heading to y label, which is y axis data, with the syntax x dot set underscore y label, and now giving the title to the graph, which is multiple plots. Next type of chart is bar chart. A bar plot or bar chart is a graph that represents the category of data with rectangular bars with length and height that is proportional to the value which they represent. It means we have data is presented on the rectangular bars, and the height and length is proportional to the values which are given. The bar plots can be plotted horizontally or vertically. To draw bar charts we use plot.bar function. So we have these arguments in it. Matplotlib.pyplot.bar, we have x, then we have height, we have width. We can use bottom and we can align it in the center. We can put data, and we have keyword arguments also. The bars are at position x. Height refers to the height of the bars. We can pass the same height for all the bars, or pass a list of different heights for each bar. Align is the alignment of the bar with the x-axis. Center, the base of the x position. Align the left edges of the bar with x position. We can add colors to the face of the bars as well as to the edges of the bar. We can give line width of the bar. If we put the line width to be 0, there won't be any bar edge. We can provide tick underscore labels, and the default value of bottom is 0. So let me explain you with the help of example. The first is we have given the elements of x is 15, 39, 23, 6 and 43, and for y it is 27, 48, 16, 32 and 0. So when we'll plot it, the syntax is plot plt dot bar, the x, the y, and the color. The color I have given is blue. So this graph is 15 and 27. So this is the point 15, and equal to this is 27. Next is 39 and 48. So we have 39 over here, and we have 48 over here. Then we have 23 and 69. So here is 23, this is 69. Then we have 6 and 32. So we have 5 here, 6 over here, and 32 here. And then in the end we have 43 and 0. Next we have histogram. A histogram is basically used to represent data provided in a form of some groups. It is a accurate method for graphical representation of numerical data distribution. It is a type of bar plot where x-axis represents the bins and bin ranges, and y-axis gives the information about the frequency. So these are the bins, and the y-axis tells the frequency. So the syntax matplotlib.pyplot.hist, and these are the arguments which are there on the histogram. X, it takes an array or a sequence of array. Bins defines the number of equal width bins in the given space. On x-axis we have bins. Range, the lower and the upper range of the bins. Density, it is a boolean value and its default is false. If it is true, it draws and returns a probability density. Weights, array like or none, or default is none for. This is our example 1. On Y we have a list 27, 48, 16 and 32 and 0. We will be plotting a histogram out of this Y. pl.show. So the histogram is 27, 48, 16, 32 and 0. So we have, for 69 we have this bar, for 48 we have this bar, for 32 we have this bar, and in this only we have for 27 this bar, and for 0 we have this bar.